Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jay Wills.
It's your boy Josh.
Welcome to another beautiful episode of the Secret Filmmaker Society
podcast. We today are talking about, we're getting something like really deep today. We're getting challenges of becoming a full-time filmmaker from beginning, middle to where we're at right now.
I mean, this episode can kind of tailor to anybody. Anyone that's like creative, anyone that's going full-time entrepreneur actually. But, you know, take it as you take it. Most of the tips are going to be geared towards being a creative filmmaker, photographer, but all these things can be applied to anyone that's diving into being an entrepreneur.
100%. So we're gonna get deep into that today. But bro, how you been?
Been good. Shot like a little something that you guys will be seeing very soon on my website. Yes, you heard it here first. I'm about to officially launch my website really soon.
Drum roll.
That drum roll is gonna go on for another week.
Yeah, I saw the some of the Instagram stories and pictures being in the Bentley, living your best life.
We were in the Bentley, yeah. We were in the Bentley, just like living my best life.
Nice, man, nice. Well, you guys, we asked you guys a couple questions last week. What equipment you guys are looking to get this year and stuff like that on our like a New Year's episode of the podcast. So a couple of you guys responded. Victor Starback said that it's interesting and also relaxing listen about the podcast. So thank you, bro.
Sick.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And he said he's thinking about buying a super wide angle lens this year, like a Tokina 11 to 16. A drone would also be nice. And here he has a GH4 and the Sigma 18 to 35 and Canon 78-200. Well, damn. So he doesn't really know how to update the setup without buying a new camera. He got all his focal lengths covered and is considering the crop factor and speed booster. So he's thinking maybe a light, like a 120D, etc. As long as he's going with the lights.
I actually lighting makes everything different. It makes it different. It makes it better. Like I said last week, lighting is key. Glass is key. Body is last to really worry about in certain senses. I don't want to upset anyone, and then after I'm going to have a whole bunch of people, yo, man, the body matters. The body matters.
The body's life.
Teach their own. And
then we also got one more too from Divine. He's saying this year he's actually planning to build his own computer. That's actually super dope. I was thinking about that, so hey, do your thing, bro.
That's sick.
And he also wants to learn how to use Mocha.
Interesting. That's not really that's not my style. That's not my steez. What about you? What do you know about Mocha?
I thought about like getting into that because that's more going to like After Effects and like tracking and motion graphics and things like that. I wouldn't call myself an animation artist at all. I've dabbled in like 2D graphics and like that kind of stuff, but I guess it's a good skill to know. You can't go wrong learning that. And he said he recently purchased a Zhiyun crane and he's learning the best time when to use it. Before the crane though, I would just use my camera strap and get steady shots. But anyways, great podcast, guys. Thank you. That'll help you out. You know what? Actually, Will was just showing me a video like a couple minutes ago where he used his Ronin. And the way he shot it was like really dope. So you'll find times where you can use it and it will be very, very beneficial to you for sure, man. So yeah, bro.
It's all about taking your gear and using it in ways that just help that situation or extend your arm, I guess you could say, or something that can be creative, because like if you go on YouTube or Instagram, everyone's using their tools the same way, I guess you could say. So it's like, maybe even like if you have a crane, or if you don't have a crane but you have a drone, it's to like use your drone to simulate the movements of a crane, but it's like studying the crane and how it moves, and after just operating your drone that way. Like I did that once. It was pretty dope. It wasn't my drone, it wasn't my crane or whatever. It wasn't my drone, but I just got the operator to just operate it the way I envisioned would be the best way to operate it.
I see, man. Well, backtracking on something else. Thank you for that suggestion about Seven Sisters. That movie was actually really, really, really dope.
Yeah, some Black Mirror shit.
Yeah, I did not expect. I was watching it and I was like, what the hell is going on right now? Like at first I was like, this is not, like you said, the details of the actual way it is.
The details was it's like, I'm not gonna ruin it for anybody.
Yeah.
Go check it out if you haven't. Last week that was my request. I don't have any requests this week. Josh, you have any requests?
I say if you guys are gonna watch a movie this week, watch. What did I see? I was watching something. I've been watching The Punisher. That's pretty cool.
No, man, this is a movie. Man.
A movie.
Come on, keep it short.
Damn, man. Right now, if I'd say you guys have to watch a movie, I don't know. I can't think of anything new that I saw that I really was like dope. I've been kind of watching series lately. I might bring it back to an old one, Crash. If you haven't seen Crash, watch Crash. It's like stories within stories within stories, the storylines of like all these different characters, and they all collide. So I love that. That's my favorite.
Watch Nightcrawler. If you haven't seen that, that's a great movie.
Ooh, wait, is that the one with the?
That's Nightcrawler.
Oh shit! Okay, you know what? No, my actual suggestion is Nightcrawler. Nah, that is actually a sick. Is that the one with the camera?
Yeah.
That was trippy as hell.
That movie has the craziest character development.
Yeah,
I've ever seen in a movie. Actually, one of the craziest. Watch that.
That movie is trippy.
This week's recommendation is Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and that movie too. On top of that, it's like because it's about film pretty much and video.
Yep.
You guys will enjoy that. Watch Nightcrawler, and then my recommendation is watch Crash if you've not seen it. The storyline's amazing, and it's like a bunch of different characters colliding and connecting in ways that you didn't expect. So yeah, man. But with no further ado, we told you guys we were gonna start talking about how to navigate this world of freelance. You know, this podcast is about navigating the world of film for the modern day creative. So we're trying to help you guys living in 2017, 2018. No, 2018. What do you mean 2017? 2018. That's it. So you're coming into the world of freelance. You're coming into the world of doing video on your own, pretty much running your own business with freelancing and video. I would say the first thing that you need to do is practice. Like Allen Iverson said, it's just practice. But like you actually got to practice, because you have to realize, I think what a lot of people don't realize is now, if you're freelancing, this is your commodity. This art is your product to sell. People like customers and clients coming to work with you, they need your product. Your product is what they need to help them either make sales, to promote their stuff, whatever. So you got to focus on first giving, I think, the best quality service product you can deliver. You know what I mean? We all say art's so subjective, which it is, but there still has to be a certain quality there of like an amazingness that the people like can use this product to help benefit whatever it is that they're trying to take action in, whether it's to market their own products, their own service, their own business. So I think first thing is practice.
Yeah, practice is good. You never want to go to the table and be like, yeah, this is what I have to offer. And like, you know, you have standards that are needed to be met in order to live. So it's like no one's gonna want to pay you X amount if you're not giving them a good enough quality. So it's like you can't come to the table and say, yeah, I want $5,000 to do something, and after they're like, yeah, your work's worth $100, and then you're arguing, and then they're like, all right, cool, yeah, we'll give you a call back. You know what that means most of the time, right? You're not getting a call back. But yeah, like you just want to practice. That's like the first, that's very important. That's the first step. You don't want to leave your job without insurance, in the sense of like, all right, cool, I'm about to leave my job. I'm going to be able to sustain life. That's rule number one. So yeah, sustaining life is crazy, and it's challenging because we touched on this last week, where you kind of lose yourself, where you're trying to like make ends meet with bills and stuff like that. So then you're losing yourself as a creative, and like you just start filming and taking photos or doing what you do in order to make ends meet. Really, like if the practice that you put in from the beginning keeps on going on, because in this field, you never actually stop learning. There's always something new. There's never a right or wrong way to do things. It's just the way of getting to the end. It's like, just get there, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that our generation is like the generation of entrepreneurs, I guess I feel.
It is,
personally, because like everybody that's in here is just like, yo, they're doing their thing. But yeah, practice, and like just make sure you're good enough to make that money. Because if you're not good enough and you go to the table and like you feel like you're at this level, oh, that's another thing, actually. This is very key. Make sure you have people around you that aren't yes men. Yes men or women. Because if everyone tells you your stuff is good, then you go to that meeting and you're like, yo, my stuff's amazing. Your chest is high, which isn't a bad thing to have confidence. And then you drop your portfolio and they're like, oh, what is this? And then you're like, yo, this is my work. This is my work that I put all my heart into. It's that fire, bro. It's like, yo, listen to my mixtape. This is that fire, bro. But like, yeah, if it's not good, then you're gonna be let down. Then after, you're gonna feel really defeated in like the worst ways, and you might just want to give up on it. But in reality, it's not that. You're actually, oh man, I was
you're trying to say it's like, you're not good.
You're not good enough. I guess like, just because you're not good at that moment, you're not ready, doesn't mean that you can't be great. Michael Jordan didn't make the basketball team the first time he tried out, but look at it now. He's the GOAT. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, just make sure you keep practicing. Make sure like you were really ready to present yourself, and don't come with just don't come with the lame stuff and be undercutting. That's even another thing. Holy crap! But so like, hard.
I think that's the main thing too. Like what you just said, in the sense of like being good. Like, yeah, there is a standard. A lot of people, I think, don't realize that. Like, if you're depending on who you're trying to work with, if you're trying to work with and creating for brands or whatnot, they have a standard, and you can see that. And then also what people just have in their mind. Like, if you're creating content, people see content all the time. So they know what looks good or what doesn't look good. So I'm not saying you're trying to emulate what someone else is doing, but there is a certain standard that your work has to have before it's considered good. So like with that comes, yes, practice to get yourself there, especially if you're going to move into the world of freelance. If you're just trying to feed your soul and you're just like, yo, bro, I just want to make amazing art and that's it. You don't care about the dollar. Let's say you have another job that's paying everything, or you're just super rich and you could just do whatever you want. Cool. But if you're actually trying to turn this into a business, your mindset has to shift. So one, yes, your product needs to be A1 before you can actually expect people and clients to want to work with you. There will always be people that will work with you regardless if you're good or not, I think. There's some people that are just like, they just need something super cheap, so they'll work with anybody, or they want something for free or whatnot. You'll always have clients like that. But when you really want like legit clients that can help, one, like you said, pay your bills, because like, again, you're gonna have to think about sustaining your life. Like, this is another thing that when people come into this world is, it's not just about the art anymore. It's about the business side of it too, and making money and having to live. And you can get super frustrated when you're just focusing on trying to get clients and make ends meet. And then just like the art part, kind of like you start having a distaste for it. You can actually start hating what you do. You could have loved it so much when you were doing it all for fun, but when you start doing it for a business and you're solely relying on this to eat, it's like, damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. Your mentality shifts once it's like, it's a business, and you're no longer just creating to create, you're creating to make money. You just got to stick to your roots and pretty much create as you were doing before, because the business will continue coming to you as long as you're creating quality work. Which, like, I think a lot of people forget that quality of their brand and like the genuine thoughts and like creativeness that comes from them, as opposed to like what they're seeing online, and they're like getting too caught up in like what's trendy and what everybody likes. And it's like, just create as you see fit, and everyone will tend to like, genuinely gravitate towards you. Not every trend was trendy at first, you know what I mean? So it's like one person just kept true to themselves and kept creating as they seen fit, and then everyone kind of latched onto it. So who knows, like the next trend might be your trend. It might be something that you started. So that's how I feel. That's the basis of that.
Yeah, man. Because it's true. Like a lot of people, like they'll see stuff and like try to emulate what they see, just to create what they think is cool. And it's like, bro, you got to make your own style, because that's what clients will gravitate towards. I've really noticed, like, for the past little while, I haven't really had to like market to get new clients. Like, if you really think about all the clients that come, it's word of mouth. Like,
people come to you for you at the end of the day.
They've seen stuff and they're like, I saw this, I like what you did here, I like what you did there. Not really having to reach out, where you will have to do outreach if you're just starting. But like when you're doing it for a long time and a while, most of your clientele will come from just like, oh shit, I've been doing this, and like people see it, someone refers you, whatnot, and so on and so forth. And that comes from staying true to your own style, or creating a style and creating something a little different that people can tell like, ooh, that's your work, and then staying true to it. Not meaning you have to do the exact same thing in every video, but staying true to your style to continue to like garner fans and people that just like are fans of your work, and then again want to work with you. Someone might be like, oh, I love what you did here, and then this client wants to work with you because of that. So that's a good tip. Keep that in mind. Stay true to yourself. Aside from practicing, once you practice so much and you get to that point where it's like, all right, I'm dope, stay true to yourself and stay true to what you want to create in a sense of your style.
And then do not ever sell out. Remember, when people come to you and this is your business, keyword business, businesses make money, and they come to you and they're like, yo, let's work. And after, it's like, yeah, let's work. Make sure you let them know that this is work, because at the end of the day, how else are you going to eat? I mean, it's going to keep on coming back to that. Like money is a thing that makes the world go round at the end of the day. In any way, like I don't think there's any other way to really put it. We need money in order to buy food. We need money to eat, etc., like live, keep like shelter around us and all that stuff. So like when people come to you and they're like, yo, let's work, let them know that, yeah, let's work. You want something, I'm offering a service. My service is X amount of money. Oh, you don't have money? Okay, cool. Let me know when you do have money, because someone else has money and I have to prioritize that. And that's another key thing. It's like prioritizing. Like, yeah, there's sometimes you do pick up those jobs because it helps you obtain more jobs, but you also got to remember, and you have to let your clients know that you're going to have to prioritize the people that are actually paying you for your time, because they're paying you for your time. So they respected you enough to pay you. So it's like, all right, cool. I'm going to respect you enough to do your work over the next person that, I don't want to say they didn't respect you, but they didn't want to pay you. So it's like, I don't know, like sometimes
moving from respect, I think it's value. They don't value what you're doing, and you have to value yourself. And if this is the problem, with most creatives, we love what we do. So sometimes it's so hard for, like, if someone came to, think about it, if someone was a lawyer and you're like, yo, to a lawyer, like, yo, can you, like, I need your services. I need you to like help me get out of this thing. The lawyer's gonna be like, cool, here's my price. And he's not gonna say, oh, you know what? I just love being a lawyer. I'm just gonna do this for free. That's not gonna happen. But like with creatives, filmmakers, like in specifically right now that we're talking about, we love what we do. So when someone comes to us and says like, hey, can you just do this like video here or do this or do that? You're kind of inclined to just be like, cool, sure, because this is probably something you do all the time on your free time for fun. So like, but you have to like reprogram your brain to realize this is, yeah, like you said, this is business. Like this time is money. If I'm working on your project for free, that means I'm not getting paid for something else. And I try to make people understand that, like, again, this is going to happen to you. Like, you're going to have people that's going to like,
it's really hard to raise awareness and let people know that like, yo, this is time being spent. And the time being spent on this means that it's not time being spent on something that's making me money. So it's like, what's the compensation there? Like, if there's no real compensation for it, then like, I don't know how to explain, I guess you could say a rule of fairness, but like, it's not fair that I'm getting dogged or I'm getting like, hounded. Like someone's texting me every day or calling me every day. Like, yo, where's that this? And it's like, this was free work. How about, like, when I get the time or whatever it is, like we can talk about it. Or if like when we did do this, I had time, maybe I don't have time at the moment, let me like clear something out. And like some people get like so upset with you. It's like, oh, you don't respect me or like this and that, blah blah. And it's like, yo, you value a bottle of Hennessy more than than your career, your brand, or my time, my brand, and my work. So like, what does that really say about that? But yeah, it's like I said, it's really hard to really raise awareness. And like, I think creatives these days been like looking for ways, and it's really hard. But I think that's definitely that's high key a step that we all need to like star on our list of things when it comes to like being a creative and doing this full time as an entrepreneur, is like valuing yourself, your time, and raising awareness to your clients that approach you and letting them know that like, all right, cool, if we're working, then like, yeah, we're working.
Like you're saying, raising awareness to them is like important. I think it's kind of hard because we have to educate the clients to understand what it takes to do a video. A lot of clients don't understand what it takes. People in general don't understand what it takes. Like they see you create like an amazing video and they think, oh, you just point, shot, put into your computer and somehow just like became so amazing.
Hours are spent on that.
So much time. And that's what's like so important, that like we kind of have to make these people understand it and understand the importance of it. that's where it's going to come in, where it comes with value and valuing your time. Because if you even yourself do something for free just because like whatever for somebody, that kind of reflects back on the industry, and that takes their mindset. That person's going to go and think that they could just ask any other person for it. Plus, I think it moves into the point of understanding the type of clientele you're working with. Like when you're freelancing, I've noticed like personally that like clients that pay more are easier to work with than clients that pay less. For some reason, the cheaper clients are the ones that will nickel and dime you and ask you like, hey, can you just do this? Can you do that? And ask for everything. While the higher paying clients will be the ones that are just set out the terms, understand what it is, and they're like, okay, cool. And when you tell them like, oh, this is going to cost extra X amount if you want it, they're okay. While the nickel and dimers, they'll have you hating what you're doing. If you're coming to freelance, I think one thing you're going to have to learn, or one thing you're going to learn, hopefully you learn from us so you don't have to learn for yourself from experience, but you could take our experiences. Try to avoid the bad clients, and it's going to be hard to be able to weed them out. But people that I think are coming on the sense of like wanting stuff for free, wanting stuff for super cheap, trying to find ways to devalue or say, hey, the worst is have you ever had a person say to you, yo, can you just do this? Like this little thing right here. Like they tell you it's a little thing. Like they've never done this, but they tell you it's a little thing.
So what's your budget?
That's like still the greatest video of all time. It's true though. What is your budget? Like I think that's the first question you can always ask.
We'll save that for next week.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, man, make sure you guys value yourself. And again, the next thing is moving into your mindset into business now, because you love doing this. This is what you like doing. You're creative. You have a passion for it. But listen, no one will tell an accountant to work for free, and no accountant's gonna go and be like, hey, I just love being an accountant, let me do it for free. This is a passion project for me. Like that's not gonna happen, so even though you love what you gotta do, you gotta separate yourself and realize now, if you're doing this full time, every hour, minute, second equals dollars.
Yo, you gotta set your terms. Like you be true to yourself, be true to your client, be true to all that stuff. Because yeah, I think that's like the most valuable thing that we could like pretty much end this off on. I mean, if you guys have any more questions, you guys can hit us up in any questions section and on any platform that you're listening to us on. Hit us up, DM us, whatever. But yeah, setting terms and letting them know like what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. It's just like any workplace where it's like, no one can force you to do something you don't want to do, but at the end of the day, you want your client to be happy and you want to be happy with what you're putting out. So just make sure you guys set terms that you can both agree on. And like I said last week, taking what they want and taking what you want, finding a medium, turning business into pleasure, and allowing yourself to always be happy with the end product.
Agree 100%.
It's very hard sometimes to deal with certain people. It's all circumstantial and it depends on who your client is, who you're working with. But one thing that could be kind of frustrating as a creative is that people like sitting in on edits. And sitting in on edits can kind of be weird because like if people don't understand the process in terms of like, all right, cool, this clip doesn't look cool by itself, this clip doesn't look cool by itself, neither does this one, but put 3 of those clips together, it looks fire. And after, it's like when they sit over your shoulder and they're like, yo, not that one, not that one, not that one, then they look at you and you feel them looking at you as you're staring at the screen, and after they're looking at you with like, this guy sucks, this shit is trash, all of this is trash. And then after, it's like they're like, I'm going to go to the washroom. They go to the washroom, they come back, and like you put those clips that they all said look shit. They're like, yo, what did you do when I was gone? That shit looks fire, bro. And it's like, yeah, I know. Just let me do what I'm doing. And after, it's like, okay, yeah, for the next one, I want you to make that look like that one. And it's like, but that's not what we shot. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, that video that this person did, yeah, could we do like an effect that looks like that? It's like, but we didn't shoot like that. Yeah, when it was like over his head, then after it was in his face, it's like, yo, that's 2 different shots. They're like, oh, say word, why didn't we do that? Because you didn't have the budget. Like those are the things that like, yeah, you gotta like really let people know that you want to create what you did. Like, yeah, some people might want to sit in. Some people that have a creative lens, it's okay, because like depending on what your job is or what you signed up for, you might be doing something in terms of editing where the creative director or the director or somebody might be sitting in with you, but that's different. That's someone with a creative lens that can help mold the final project. But
so they have an understanding.
Yeah, if it's someone that doesn't have an understanding and it's just like a rapper, no offense, or like somebody that like sits in an office at their desk filing papers all day, it's like, no, just no.
Yeah. No, just say no, guys.
I don't want you breathing down my neck while I'm like editing.
Hold my hand.
I don't need, like, you know that weird guy from Hey Arnold that like the girl that always got punched in the face. Yeah, I don't need that behind me. I don't need. That looks cool. No, man, I really don't. I don't. I'll pass every time.
It's funny, yo. I've had people sit in my edits before, and then like after I've done it, I did it twice. My whole ever career so far, I've done it twice, and the first time was it was a 19-hour edit session with the person with me, and I was like, yo, never again. And then another time was I was working on a video, and the guy wanted to like come in and be like, yo, can I like come through to your edit? And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But I thought he understood that like one is boring. Like if you're coming into an edit and you don't like you don't know what it is to edit and stuff like that, it's gonna be boring to you. You're gonna be like, what am I like watching? Like you said, taking 3 clips, it's gonna take a little while to put that together, cut it at the right spot. But whatever, he wanted to sit in, I thought he got it. And then like even that, it was like it wasn't hand holding there. The other one, I feel like it was more like telling me what to do. And it's like, if you hire someone to do your job, let me do my job. So sitting on edits, I never allow that thing to happen anymore at all, because it's like, listen, if you're hiring me for something, you're trusting what I'm doing. You don't hire a lawyer and then tell the lawyer every single thing to do, like whatever, in the sense of you can like tell them like, oh, what I want, but you don't tell them how to do their process. And that's the problem with a lot of some clients.
Speaking of, I watched a show called Manhunt Unabomber, and the guy actually was like kind of like a mastermind. So like he had lawyers and he was trying to tell them what to do. And like it was working until the lawyer was like, this guy's crazy. So like the lawyer was like against him. But yeah, check that out too. It's on Netflix.
See.
You know, another thing that a lot of people overlook are actually the power of collaboration. Especially like this is something we spoke about in the first podcast. But in starting your own business, you can't do everything by yourself. So collaboration is key. Find somebody that has skills and assets that you don't have, and also like, you know, skills and assets that you have that can help complement them, and just make sure like you guys can bounce your skills off of each other and like support each other where needed. So if like you're not the best in operating a camera, but you have like these very vivid, solid ideas, and you have a friend or you know somebody that's like, oh, their camera work looks really good, but and no shade, like there's no harm in ever being like, yeah, you know, I feel your camera work is really good, like do you want to collaborate on something? Like that's like a good way to start business, because then you guys will prosper together, and then obviously your rates can increase and you can start charging accordingly. Like you're charging for your ideas and this person is charging for the labor of what they're doing, and then whoever decides to edit, they get like, you know, their cut for that. Like just making sure you cut the pie and share that shit properly.
Yeah, that's true. Because like working with other people, it also goes into workflow. Your workflow will actually move a lot more quicker, because when you go into freelancing in the beginning, especially if you're just starting, you're going to probably be by yourself. You're going to be doing everything by yourself, shooting by yourself. And especially if you're like just coming into the industry, it's going to be like probably even more. If you've been in industry, or at least kind of know about it and know people, you're still going to be doing things by yourself, because you might not be working with huge budgets or whatnot. But as time progresses, and you get a chance to, collaborate with as many people as possible, because it also helps your workflow and you get more work done quicker. And you can make more money that way, because again, each project time equals money. So if you work on a project, you have this amount of time to do it. If you're doing every single part of it, whether if you're good at that part or not, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses in something. Some people are better directors, some people are better cinematographers, some people are better editors, some people are better colorists, some people are better sound people, whatever. But if you can work with and break a team apart, get a team and break it apart like that, you're going to be able to work on more projects and do more stuff, essentially making more money and being able to sustain and buy more toys and just be a happy filmmaker in general. So cool. Try that too. One more thing to talk about on the key of value. And on that point is, a lot of you guys will think that like being a creative, like, and you love doing the work, you love being an artist. So But you have to understand that people need you. Like when clients are asking for your business and are asking for your services, it's not a thing of like, this isn't like back in the day where someone painted the Mona Lisa and it's like, wow, I just want to hang that in my hallway or in my house just because I value art. People are using your videos and your creations to make money, because think about it now. Everyone's on Instagram. Everyone's on social media. We're scrolling. What stops our eyes? Like when we see an ad, it's because like something in that video was appealing. The way it was shot, who's in it, the way it's edited, something stops us to look, whether it's a photo, a video, whatnot. And these people need that to make money. So when you're thinking about pricing and things like that, the reason you don't want to like undervalue yourself is, let's say you charge a person $1,000 for a video. You should charge them more. Like at the end of the day, you end up doing so much work, but you only charge them $1,000. Now they take this video and they go and now they put it on their social to like as marketing or whatnot, and it generates $1 million worth of revenue, right? And let's say even before you did the video for them, they were telling you like, oh, come on, don't worry, like we'll get you more work, all that. And that's another thing. Don't listen to people that promise you just saying that, hey, if you do this video for free, we'll give you more work.
Didn't the person that made the McDonald's logo make like, or didn't they only get paid like $300, something like that?
So I haven't heard about that one. I heard about the Nike, like the person that made Nike, the girl who did it.
Nike, McDonald's, same thing.
Same
man.
thing?
It's a fucking multi-million-dollar brand now.
Mm-hmm.
You done lost your mind if I'm making. Yeah, well, you know what? I've probably made logos for $300 in my days. Who knows where those businesses are now? But like, yo, it's crazy.
And that's the thing. A lot of people will promise, man, like, hey, just like do this for free. I promise you next time I got you. And like, you can make your choice on doing that sometimes, but you can make your choice to do that. Like there has been people that I have taken that offer from, like, hey, do me a little bit cheaper. Pause. Yeah. Do this a little cheaper for me right now. And I promise like I'll give you more work, which is at the end of the day, as a freelancer, you're going to want to find clients like that. Like I think the problem is when you first come into this, you're going to try to find a client, do a work for them, and then like they're not going to need another video for a long time. So you look for someone else. One thing I say a good point is to try to find people that are going to need like reoccurring videos. So try to work with companies that you know are doing a lot of social videos, a lot of whatever, making just a lot of content. Because it's like the 80-20 rule. 80% of your business is going to come from 20% of your customers. The other 20% comes from the other 80% of your customers. So even with myself, there's a certain amount of people that I work with that are reoccurring. And then there's the one-off customers you have here and there that it could be a lot of money that they spend, but at the end of the day, they're not like the ones that are constantly coming back. And so you want to create a relationship with your clients that need more work. But going back to what I'm saying in the sense of don't listening to people promise what they say, like, hey, you're going to get so much work if you do this. Like, take that with a grain of salt. Kind of don't go in not trusting, because people will say that and not work with you after that. They get what they need. And again, like I was saying, people need your work. They need it to create the marketing for their companies to sell their products or services. So again, they might just like take it, cool, thanks, deuces. They're not thinking about you. They're not working on their projects, selling their products and saying, hey, I promised this guy that, let me find him again. Nah. They're not. They're just focusing on their own thing right now. And just like, so that's one thing. Take that with a grain of salt and remember that you're making a product that is actually making someone else money. This is not really just art anymore. It's also a commodity for these people. People are looking at your art saying, yo, I want that guy's skill to make money off of with my stuff.
I kind of want to end off with like engraving something in any of our listeners in their brains, like something that Josh has said that actually just like really resonated, I guess you could say, but never really like take these promises serious, I guess you could say. If they come back around, if they circle back around, they follow up on a promise, cool. But you know, people will look you in your eyes while you're doing these things, and they'll promise you the world. They'll promise you a lot of things. They'll promise you, you know, the goal at the end of the rainbow. But have you ever chased the end of a rainbow? Yeah, like there's nothing. I don't even think there's an end of the rainbow. But yo,
said, yeah,
like
you were doing it last week or something.
Yo, man, you know, a lot of these things are just like false promises. It's false hope that, you know, makes you feel like this client is going to do you a favor, so hey, let me do them a favor, you know, something like with that vibe. But yeah,
scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah, so
but they haven't even scratched your back yet.
Just remember, you know, just try when you're working with people, make sure that work relationship is that work relationship. Like also learning to separate your friendship and your work relationship, so that way, like, you know, it's a hard thing to do, but like try not to cross those wires, because like, you know, it never really works out, because then people think like, oh, all right, cool, like, you know, I'm gonna buddy this guy and I'm gonna make him really think we're friends. I'm gonna promise him the world, and then he's gonna give me a discount. You give them that discount, and then it's like you turn around trying to get something back out of it, and it doesn't go anywhere, and then you just feel really disappointed and defeated. So like just like, yeah, don't like, you know, hang up your jersey thinking, cool, I'm set, you know, and that person promised me that they're about to go on the world tour and I'm there with them, and then after you don't get that call and like you didn't take any jobs, and now you're just like, oh shit, I'm screwed.
That's true, man. Another thing too is like, and this is like goes to like sticking to your principles, like you were saying before, like staying true to your art. When you set a price for yourself, stick to it. Even though other people are telling you, oh, that's high. That just means like, yo, they're not your right clientele yet. You will find that client, because listen, there's gonna be clients that see $5,000 as a lot, and there's gonna be clients that see $5,000 as, wow, this is a big discount. There's going to be clients that see $20,000 as like, whoa, hell no. And others that see that as like, oh, damn, that's it. So when you do have your prices that you choose, stick to it and stay to it. Like, don't worry about people saying yes or no, because at the end of the day, there's going to be the people that will get it. That's the ones that are your clientele and that you need to like be hitting up. When you go back and forth, undervalue yourself, this and that, and start just like chasing the money in that sense, that's where things start getting sticky. You know, someone's like, oh, I got this from him for $200. I got this from him from $5,000. I got this from him for, no, then it gets confusing. So stick to your values, stick to your numbers. Eventually the world will come to you, you know what I mean? But make sure that work also is up to par with whatever you're charging. You know what I mean? How to figure out the number to charge, that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day. But yeah, we have some questions for you guys that we want you guys to answer. So we want to know, one, what are some issues you ran into with clients that you can give advice on that will help the next person not have to deal with that? Let us know. So yes, this world of freelance is something that you guys want to get into. It's great. It's beautiful. There's a lot of freedom in it, but there's a lot of hard work and a lot of time spent. And there's going to be a lot of frustrating things that happen and struggles or whatnot. You're going to go up and down. It's like a roller coaster, honestly. So don't be discouraged. Just make sure that the things that you can control, you focus on, which is your work, creating the best work you can, marketing yourself the best way you can. And from that, the rest should fall in place. You still have to do the groundwork to getting yourself out there. But other than that, it's a very wonderful thing. You know, I've been freelancing for a long time now and running my own business, and it's great, you know, but make that step when you're ready. There might be a time where you think you're ready and you might not be. That's fine. You know, I've worked part-time jobs while doing my thing and then gone full-time and then maybe had a part-time again and then went back full-time. For the last while now, I've been just strictly film, I'd say since like 2015, strictly just video full-time. So just play your cards right and know how it is. Understand if you can actually sustain yourself, because this is a business. This is not just now for fun or for art or for just a passion project. This is now like your livelihood. If you have kids or a family, you know, you can't just make that decision. If you don't, you can. But yeah, this is just some tips we want to give to you guys with getting into the freelancing full time and starting your own business. And I hope we gave you guys some great insight. Again, if you guys have any question, hit us up on Instagram at Filmmaker Society. Make sure if you're checking out the podcast, you can leave comments on SoundCloud. If you're on iTunes or on Google Play right now, hit us with a review. Hit us with that 5 stars. You know, we like that. And give us a nice review on what you think about the podcast. And other than that,
we out here.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys on the next side.
Keep listening to the podcast.
Secret Filmmaker Society.